Hey traders, Control the Trade here again, back with, let's call it part 2 of the live video. When we last left you guys, I was looking at an entry for Tesla. I did get in around 737 and change, and then I saw this candle pop in, got out about 740, just under, and then this happened. So thankfully I was out before that move. I don't like this move right here, this big red fat candle here. Now we have that to contend with, the high being 739.40. 737 is still kind of that zone I'm looking for, so if we start to close, let's say hourly above 737 to 740, obviously we start making new highs, we can get another nice little run here for Tesla. I do not recommend trading in the middle of the day. I did send a tweet out about this earlier. Usually, let's say after approximately 11:30 a.m. East, the market is horrible for day traders, choppy, algo driven. You're just really, I don't want to say you're gambling at that point, but it's just hard. There's not enough volume, and it's usually very choppy, especially in a slow market like this grinding slow market where there's just not a lot of activity. Sure, if there's a catalyst like the Fed or something like that in the middle of the day, that changes everything. I mean, it's more like the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, it sucks to day trade after 11:30. That's why you see so much volume pumping in the beginning of the day, and it starts to trail off around, going into lunchtime. You can see the visual here on the chart, just Tesla showing that example. Or if I pull up SPY, a lot of you might already know this, but it's a good awareness to have. I mean, look at the volume is usually very high in the opening few candles, and then just starts to die down. By the way, look at this incredibly bullish pattern we have developing on the SPY. I got to change this by 1 penny. 412.21. You notice I have 218.26, by the way. That is the low, the pivot low that we made last year. That's got to give you some perspective to see how far we've come. I mean, it's just crazy to think that we're almost double of what we were at that low. I think that's pretty telling, though, that a pullback is inevitable and a hard one at that. Now, let's go back to some charts. I was trying to short Twilio, and now I'm looking to maybe buy some. I actually missed it by a few pennies. I was trying to short it up here, I think about 383, 384. I can't remember exactly when, but I did not get filled. And then, of course, I missed the move, and now we're popping down. We have this beautiful break up candle high, and if you look at the low here, which is 374.80, and then the open is 375, I'd be comfortable taking a trade around that area. You can see I have a small order in just to kind of test the waters here to see if there's a bounce. I thought maybe there'd be a bounce to the 20. I'm not touching that. That's the 20 period moving average on the 10-minute chart, which actually I need to get rid of my pre-market. I think this is a pre-market trading view. I can't tell here. Anyways, that's what happens when you're doing a live video. You're not really sure. If I go down here, though, I'm going to set an alert just to see how it's looking. I do want a little volume there. It's really not something I recommend, but I will trade against the low of this all day. If it starts to break below, it's an easy out, low risk, good reward. If we start to go up, pull back down, and then we bounce off 375, 376, somewhere in that zone. Maybe we take another run up here in the 380s, low 380s. That would be a good quick day trade. Just pocket some money here into the account. And it's kind of, I don't know what to call it practice, but it's good, it's good practice for reading the charts and taking a small trade with not a lot of risk. I know there's not a lot of upside to that either, but it's just good to kind of get these little base hits, these little sacrifice bunts per se, rather than go for the fences and strike out and have some crazy loss. That's something that every trader that I know has done, including myself. And that's when you lose yourself if you're not focused. These videos actually help me to stay focused because I'm talking to, hopefully other people are watching this and listening. So it kind of keeps me in check instead of going with that impulse trade, if you know what I mean, especially during this time. So it's a good chance to take a deep breath, look at the charts, see where things are at, get rid of your FOMO, which is one of the worst things you can have as a day trader or an investor, really. I wonder what they used to call FOMO before. FOMO. Like, what did we call that? I don't even remember if we call, what we called that before. Gambling? I don't know. Just oh, we got another alert going off here. Hold on. Amazon above 34, 31.85. I must have found that number important at some point to put that as an alert. don't know. 34.32 is the high of the day. Let me pull up Amazon. I'm on another screen. If you've been following me on Twitter, you'll know that I've been talking up Amazon for quite some time now. When it looked like we were falling off a cliff, I was shocked that this was happening, and I was buying and holding, which I don't normally do, but I was just waiting for this move. It took a little longer than I thought. And because my thesis was that we were going higher in the market during this time, I figured the only way that could really truly happen was for Amazon and Apple to basically be our anchors in our relay race to the top. And after that, let's see if we get a major pullback. We're getting close, in my opinion. Okay, so the high here is 34.34, so I'm going to expect to see some resistance up here, but we're not even close to that number, are we? The high here is 34.32. Oh, no wonder I had that alert go off. Whoa, did we just get rejected hard up there and I missed it? I missed the move. That's the only other problem with going with these videos. You miss your own moves. So my alert was for 34, right under the high, 34, 31, 85. Okay, here's an alert I don't want to miss. This is Rocket, RKT. I've been expecting a squeeze out of this. 22.76 has been the important number for me on this chart for quite some time now. And if you go back, you can see why. How many times it's hit this number. It's broke out from this number, and it's broke down from this number. And now we're near the 20. We're trying to break out again. 20 is 23.06. If we start getting in that zone, I think there's a pretty high short float on this one. We could get a nice little pop here. Not a lot of volume though. Let's go to the 10-minute chart again. One thing I like about having my numbers here, my dotted lines, which I call like quote unquote my important numbers, is I know to trade against them. I trust my charting, and I know that if we start to close below some of these numbers that are on the chart, let's say on 10-minute or hourly closes or daily, and it depends on the context, then I know that the trade was wrong and I can take it out and reset. I do like this one going up to about 23. I could see this having a lot of resistance at 23. If we start to break above 23.01, I like this. I want to look at another chart. Rocket can move very fast upside and downside, and it's been asleep for a while, so maybe it's due for a pop here. That's a 4-hour chart. I like a 4-hour. Looking at a 4-hour chart, you can see the 50-period moving average here is 23.74. So I would look for a move above 23.05, 23.06. If we start getting there, let's say by 12:30 today, even though it's the middle of the day, maybe the algos start, squeezing this up a little bit. We'll see. Not putting too much stock into it because I don't like this candle here. And that's our challenge candle right there. So let's see if we get rejected there. And if there's volume behind it. If it starts to creep above this number here, this 22.96, then it starts to become more attractive for the bull case, at least the way that I read the market. Whoops. No, there's my charts. Okay. Back to Amazon. I missed that short, but who wants to short? I don't want to short Amazon right now anyway. I mean, that would have been a good play, though. Oops. Let's check a couple. I'm going to go to silver. I'm curious what silver's doing. It's SLV. Wow, look at that gap up. Silver's getting interesting. Not one that I normally play, but I've been hearing a lot of buzz from at least some of the people I follow and trust that they believe silver's going to have a run soon. I like how it's popped back above the 20-period moving average. That's interesting. Something to set our alerts on. Looks like an old Fibonacci retracement I have here that I might need to... No, it looks like it's still relevant. Let's go ahead and add a alert here near that. That could be actually one play that I do buy, hold, and swing, maybe. Or look for a leverage ETF on a short-term basis. And let's check a couple other charts here real quick before we wrap it up. Shopify was talking about doing a short on this today. Again, no, I don't. Look at that, 12. I missed this one too. Yeah, that's how it goes. I used to get mad about this kind of stuff when I would miss these plays. There's just, you can't trade everything. And, it's not always going to go right. Usually when I make these decisions, there's a pretty good high probability that they're going to do what I'm expecting them to do based on the charts. It's not me, it's just reading the charts and what I've learned. And that was a good short right there. But at the same time, I've seen it happen the other way. I think I talked about this earlier, how it was teetering between a breakout and a breakdown. I think it was either this or Tesla. I can't remember. Look back at the video. But now we look for maybe an entry. So the low of this candle is 1234.10, or excuse me, 1223.76. And where did we go here? 1223.25. And now we're closed at that number. We're teetering right there. If I'm going to set an alert right here. Again, I don't like trading in the day like this, but if I start to see some movement in shop, then we could get another, like our second wins move here. So the way I see this is an A leg up, B leg down to test the opening here, or kind of midway, which would be more bullish. And then we take our C leg, which would exceed this high. That is a pattern we typically see. Now, the only problem with that is that since volume slows down, you may not get enough buyers. So it could look more like this, like a chop kind of sideways right here instead, and kind of getting stuck maybe at a high of 1236, something like that. Still would be an okay trade if I can get in and out. But if there's no volume, I'm not going to touch it. Shop, though, I've seen it take these late day pops a lot of the time out of nowhere, so I want an awareness of it, and I want to set my alerts. That might have been the shop alert right there. No, that was Tesla. Back of 738. So, a choppy day like today, I'm not excited to jump into stuff, and you can see why. 1 second something looks like it's breaking down, the next looks like it's breaking out, and that's just too choppy. There's not like a clear trend on a lot of these. However, I do like this doji that's forming on shop, so we're going to keep an eye on that. One more alert on that, and there's my other shop alert. Let's see how it looks at 12 o'clock. I'm going to wait a few minutes. I really want to see how this candle closes. This candle is an important candle for me, the way that I read the charts, based on time and price and this moving average here. And the fact that we went down and tested the low of this candle, as long as we stay above the low of that candle, I feel pretty good about entering into this. It's a pretty low risk trade at that point. All right, so that's Shopify. What else do we want to look at? Apple. I think I talked about Neo for a minute. And Neo hit that resistance that I was expecting it to hit. Oops. And pulled back. This chart looks very similar to all the other ones. Looks similar to Shopify as well. However, I don't see this one having the same pop just yet. I would probably still set an alert down here. There's nothing clear to me on this one. 37.75 is the low on that candle, at least 37.82. That's pretty good. I mean, this is kind of a little breakout candle right here before we popped up to the high of the day. So again, let's see how this one closes. If it closes above the 20 period moving average on the 10-minute chart, that gives me more of the bull case there and reason to maybe jump in, except you have this moving average here serving as resistance, and you can see it's gotten rejected pretty much twice. Can't get over that. Tesla. Well, just in case we didn't set an alert on Tesla, let's do that. Tesla's got a nice bull flag pattern going here. Probably shook out a lot of traders right here. And we're trying to test the high of this candle here. We talked about that earlier. 739.40. I think it's time for me to go eat lunch. Alright, I'm going to take a break. Give these charts a little bit of time to form some patterns. Maybe we get some volume pickup in the afternoon. And good luck. Thanks for watching. And remember, don't let the trade control you.